When someone stays in your thoughts all the time, these three things are occurring to that person. Have you ever wondered why some people never seem to leave your mind? No matter what you are doing or how far away they go, their presence remains with you. It is like a song that continues to play over and over. You try to focus on other things. You work, you look at your phone, you chat with friends, but then suddenly their name, their face, or their smile shows up again. You do not call them, and you do not send a text. Yet somehow they never truly depart. My friend, when someone lives in your mind constantly, it is not a random event. It is not an obsession. It is not a sign of weakness. It is a bond, a deep connection between souls that is stronger than logic, more powerful than distance, and more honest than words. When this happens, when someone stays in your mind every day, there are three important things happening to that person as well. Let us look deeper. Let us understand the hidden world between two spirits. Your energy is reaching them. You might believe your thoughts are silent and that no one can hear them. You might think they stay trapped inside your head. But thoughts are a form of energy, and energy travels. Every time you think about someone with strong feelings, whether it is love, pain, longing, or care, your thoughts become waves that move through the world. Somehow those waves find their way to that person. That is why sometimes, just when you are thinking of them, they call or message or show up out of nowhere. It is not just good luck. It is energy coming together. You are sending out signals from your heart to theirs. If their soul is on the same level as yours, they get those signals. They might not understand why they suddenly started thinking about you. They might not know why they felt a change in their chest or why they could not sleep that night, but it is because your energy reached them. Even from many miles away, they can feel you. They might feel a sudden warmth, an old memory, or a strange emotional pull. That is the first truth. When someone is on your mind all the time, your energy is reaching them. You do not need to be standing in front of them to connect. You do not need to speak every day to stay close, because souls can talk in silence, and the heart has its own way of speaking. It is a language that only another heart can understand. Think of this story. Once there was a woman who could not stop thinking about a man she used to love. Many years had passed. They had gone different ways in life. She had a new life, and he had his. But every night before she went to sleep, his memory returned. It did not bring pain, but peace. Somewhere in another city, that man would wake up at 3 a.m. feeling a sudden emotion he could not explain. He would open his phone, see her picture in an old memory alert, and wonder why he was thinking about her that night. It was her energy reaching out to him. That invisible string still existed between them, even after years of not speaking. True connections never really disappear. They just change into energy that travels across time and space. The second part is that they are thinking about you too. Now, here is something even more profound. What if the reason they are always in your head is because you are also in theirs? Have you ever had this happen? You think of someone after a long time and they suddenly send you a message. You dream of someone and the next day they show up in some way, maybe on the internet or in a memory. That is not a coincidence. That is a connection working in both directions. Our souls act like mirrors. When one soul thinks of another with deep emotion, the other person feels it as well. That is why some people enter your thoughts not by mistake, but because they are calling for your energy. Maybe they miss you, but cannot find the words to say it. Maybe they think of you, but choose to stay silent. Maybe they still hold your name in their heart, but act like they have moved on. But you can feel it. Your soul knows the truth. Because when two souls are linked, distance, time, and silence do not stop them. Your hearts talk even when your mouths stay shut. So yes, sometimes when you cannot stop thinking about someone, it is because they are also thinking of you with the same depth and longing. Even though you cannot see it, that invisible bridge between your hearts is still there. Consider this. A boy once loved a girl very much. They had to move apart because life took them in different directions. Years later, the boy did well in life, but something always felt missing. Every night, he thought of her laughter and her eyes. In another part of the world, that same girl would feel sudden emotions she could not explain. She would remember him at random moments while she was cooking, walking, or listening to music. That is the power of a bond. He thought of her and she felt him. They did not talk, but their souls still did. That is what happens when someone is on your mind all the time. Your thoughts connect through invisible levels because love still makes an echo even when it is silent. The third part is that the universe is trying to tell you something. Sometimes when a person constantly appears in your thoughts, it is more than just a connection. It is a message from the universe. The universe has its own way of talking to us. It does not shout. It whispers through feelings and signs. When a name keeps coming back or a face appears in your dreams over and over, it is a sign. When their memory hits your heart even after you tried to forget, the universe is trying to tell you something vital. Maybe you have unfinished business with that person. Maybe you need to forgive them. Maybe you need to find a way to move on. Or maybe they are part of your future path. This constant thought is not a punishment. It is a sign that says you should not ignore this link. There is still something left to learn. Once there was an old man who thought about a childhood friend every single day. They had not met in 40 years. One day he finally decided to look for her just to see how she was. He found her. When they met, she told him that she had thought about him every day too, but she assumed he had forgotten her. Both of them smiled with tears in their eyes. The universe had been whispering to both of them for a long time, reminding them that some bonds never truly end. So, when someone stays in your mind for too long, do not just ask why you cannot stop thinking about them. Ask what this thought is trying to teach you. The universe never repeats names without a good reason. Every thought and every emotion carries a lesson or a hidden blessing. Take a moment to reflect. Close your eyes. Think of that one person who lives in your thoughts. Do not fight the feeling. Do not question it. Just breathe and ask yourself what this connection means to you. What is it teaching you? Is it about love, growth, or letting go? Sometimes thinking of someone is not actually about them. It is about you. It is about what your own soul needs to heal or learn. Instead of running away from the thought, welcome it. Try to understand it. Listen to what your heart is trying to say. In conclusion, when someone is on your mind all the time, remember these 3 truths. Your energy is reaching them and they can feel your emotions from far away. They are thinking of you too, and that invisible thread still connects your souls. The universe is giving you a message. There is a reason you cannot stop thinking of them, and it is leading you toward growth or love. Do not see this connection as pain. See it as a purpose. Maybe they are not meant to stay in your life, but they are meant to wake something up inside of you. Every thought has a reason, and every person who enters your mind carries a message. The next time someone will not leave your thoughts, smile and tell yourself that you understand. It is not just your mind, it is your soul remembering. Souls do not forget each other. Even when time and distance separate them, they find each other again in dreams and feelings. Sometimes, that is where true love lives. Not in words, but in the quiet parts of your mind where their memory feels like home. If someone has been on your mind lately, this is your sign that the bond still exists. They may be far away, but your thoughts are the bridge. tonight, when you think of them, maybe they will feel a sudden warmth in their heart without knowing it is you. That is the beautiful mystery of how we are connected. Welcome to Psychology Fact. If you are curious about the hidden truths of the heart, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you never miss a fact that could change how you see the world. Beyond the energy you send and the messages from the universe, there is a fourth reason why someone stays in your mind. This is about the growth of your own spirit. Sometimes a person remains in your thoughts because they act as a mirror for your own life. They reflect the parts of your heart that you have ignored or the dreams you have put aside. When you think of them, you are actually remembering a version of yourself that you miss. This is why the thoughts feel so strong. They are not just about the other person. They are a call from your own soul to wake up and pay attention to your own needs. There is also the reality of soul contracts. Some people believe that before we are born, we make agreements with certain souls to meet and learn specific lessons. Even if you are no longer in each other's lives, that agreement stays active in the spiritual world. This is why you might feel a sudden pull toward them during a big change in your life. Your soul is checking in on that old contract. It is a reminder that you are never truly alone and that every person you have ever loved has left a permanent mark on your spirit. These marks are like stars that guide you through the dark, helping you find your way toward your true self. In the end, having someone on your mind is a gift of connection in a world that often feels disconnected. It is a reminder that we are more than just bodies living day to day. We are beings made of energy and light, connected by invisible threads that no amount of time or distance can ever break. So, when that person appears in your mind tonight, do not feel frustrated. Instead, feel grateful that you have the capacity to care so deeply. Feel peace in knowing that somewhere out there, your thoughts are being felt. Your heart is not broken, it is simply open. And in that openness, you find the true magic of being human. Beyond these three truths, there is a fourth reason why someone stays in your mind. This is about your own soul's evolution. Sometimes, a person remains in your thoughts because they act as a mirror for your own life. They reflect the parts of your heart that you have ignored or the dreams you have put aside. When you think of them, you are actually remembering a version of yourself that you miss or a quality you need to find again. This is why the thoughts feel so heavy. They are not just about the other person. They are a call from your own inner self to pay attention to your own needs. It is about your personal growth and the parts of you that are still waking up. There is also the reality of soul agreements. Some believe that before we arrive in this world, we make plans with certain souls to meet and learn specific lessons together. Even if you are no longer in each other's lives in the physical world, that agreement stays active in the spiritual space. This is why you might feel a sudden pull toward them during a big change in your life. Your soul is checking in on that old promise. It is a reminder that you are never truly alone and that every person you have ever cared for has left a permanent mark on your spirit. These marks are like stars that guide you through the dark, helping you find your way toward who you are meant to be. Story moment. There was a man who moved to a new country to start over. He worked hard and became successful, but every time he sat in silence, he thought of a friend from his youth who had encouraged him to paint. He hadn't painted in 20 years. One day, the thought became so loud he finally bought a brush and canvas. Across the ocean, that old friend felt a sudden sense of joy for no reason at all. The man wasn't just thinking of a person, he was thinking of the passion that person had helped him find. The connection was the spark he needed to become whole again. Because sometimes, the people in our heads are the keys to the doors we have locked inside ourselves. In the end, having someone on your mind is a gift of connection in a world that can often feel lonely. It is a reminder that we are more than just people living day to day. We are beings made of energy and light, connected by invisible strings that no amount of time or distance can ever snap. So, when that person appears in your mind tonight, do not feel frustrated or sad. Instead, feel glad that you have the ability to feel so deeply. Feel peace in knowing that somewhere out there, your thoughts are being received. Your heart is not struggling, it is simply staying open. And in that openness, you find the true magic of being alive. Every memory is a bridge, and every bridge leads you back to the love that exists within you. Finally, there is one more reason why a person lingers in your thoughts, and it is perhaps the most beautiful of all. This is the concept of a shared spiritual home. Sometimes two souls are so perfectly matched that they create a space in the universe that belongs only to them. Even when you are physically apart, your mind returns to them because it is where you feel most like yourself. It is not about wanting them back or needing to talk. It is about the comfort of knowing that someone in this vast world truly understands the essence of who you are. Your mind is simply visiting the place where it feels safe and understood. There is also the idea of protection and healing. Sometimes, when you cannot stop thinking of someone, your soul is actually sending them strength. You may not know it, but they might be going through a difficult time, a moment of doubt, or a period of sadness. Your constant thoughts act as a shield of light around them. Your love and your memories become a source of unseen support that helps them keep going. You are acting as their silent guardian. In the same way, when you feel a sudden burst of courage or a random smile on a hard day, it might be because someone out there is thinking of you, sending you the energy you need to survive the storm. Story moment. There was a young man who traveled far away for work, leaving his elderly mother behind. He was busy and didn't always have time to call, but every afternoon at exactly 4 o'clock, he would think of her kitchen and the smell of her tea. In that same moment, miles away, the mother would feel a sudden wave of strength in her tired bones. She would sit up a little straighter and feel a sense of warmth in the room. She didn't need a phone to know her son was with her. His thoughts were a physical comfort that kept her heart beating strong. They were connected by a love that didn't need a single word to be felt. So, the next time you find yourself lost in the memory of another, do not be afraid. Do not think you are stuck in the past. Instead, realize that you are part of a grand, invisible web of human connection. You are a sender and a receiver of the most powerful force in existence. Whether it is energy, a message from the universe, or a soul contract, it all leads to the same truth. We are never truly separate. We are all walking each other home through our thoughts and our hearts. Embrace the mystery, cherish the connection, and trust that your soul knows exactly why it is holding on. Another deep truth to consider is that sometimes someone stays in your mind because you are undergoing a spiritual upgrade. We often think that a constant memory is a sign of being stuck, but it is actually a sign of movement. When your soul is ready to reach a new level of wisdom, it brings up the people who challenged you or loved you the most. They act as a teacher in your mind. By replaying their face or their words, you are actually processing old lessons that you were not ready to understand before. You are clearing out the old energy to make room for something new and beautiful that is about to enter your life. There is also the mystery of the collective consciousness. This is the idea that all human hearts are connected like roots under a forest. Sometimes you think of a person because there is a shift in the world that involves them. Maybe they are reaching a milestone, or maybe they are finally letting go of a burden they carried. Because you were once close, your heart picks up on this shift like a radio picking up a signal. You are witnessing their growth from a distance. This is a sacred role. You are the silent witness to their journey, and they are the witness to yours. This is why the connection feels so heavy, yet so peaceful at the same time. Story moment. A woman once had a dream about a friend she hadn't spoken to in 10 years. In the dream, the friend was walking through a bright garden and looking very happy. The woman woke up and couldn't stop thinking about her all day. She wondered if she should reach out, but something told her to just sit with the feeling. A week later, she found out that her old friend had just overcome a long illness and was finally healthy again. The woman didn't need to be told the news. Her soul had already felt the change. Her thoughts were a celebration of her friend's victory, happening in the quiet space of her own heart. When we look at it this way, we see that the mind is not just a place for facts and logic. It is a playground for the spirit. It is a place where time does not exist and where love is the only currency. So if your mind is full of someone today, let it be. Do not judge yourself for not being over it. Do not feel like you are failing at moving on. You are simply participating in the deep, invisible rhythm of life. You are proof that humans are capable of a love that transcends the physical body. You are a living example of the truth that once a heart is touched by another, it stays changed forever. Beyond all these reasons, there is a final truth about why a person stays in your thoughts. It is because they are a part of your soul's history. Think of your life as a book. Some people are just a page, but others are the ink that writes the entire story. Even if their chapter has ended, their influence remains in the way you speak, the way you think, and the way you love. When they enter your mind, it is your soul's way of honoring that influence. You are not looking backward because you are lost. You are looking backward to see how far you have come, and to recognize the people who helped you grow into the person you are today. There is also the secret of mutual healing. In the spiritual world, it is believed that when two people think of each other at the same time, a healing light is created. This light works to fix old wounds and wash away past regrets. If you find yourself thinking of someone with kindness after a long time of feeling hurt, it means the healing is finally complete. Your mind is no longer a place of conflict, but a place of peace. By holding them in your thoughts without anger, you are setting both yourself and that person free. You are giving them the greatest gift possible, the permission to be happy and the grace to be forgiven. Story moment. There was a teacher who retired after 40 years. He often thought of a specific student from his very first class who had struggled to learn. He wondered if that student ever found success. At that same moment, in a busy office, that former student was giving a speech. He paused and told the crowd about a teacher who never gave up on him. He didn't know the teacher was thinking of him, and the teacher didn't know he was being honored. But the air between them was filled with gratitude. The thought was the bridge that allowed their hearts to say thank you across the gap of many decades. This is the ultimate lesson of the mind. Our thoughts are not just shadows. They are the substance of our connections. They prove that we are never truly finished with the people we have loved. We carry them in our walk, in our choices, and in our quietest moments. So, when your mind wanders to that person today, do not try to pull it back. Let it wander. Let it remember. Let it feel the connection that defies the laws of the physical world. You are part of a beautiful, endless dance of souls, and every thought is a step in that dance. There is one more layer to this mystery, and it involves the concept of the soul's timing. Sometimes a person stays in your mind because the universe is preparing you for a future meeting. Life is not a straight line. It is a circle. People often leave our lives only to return when we are stronger, wiser, and ready to understand them in a new way. If someone keeps appearing in your thoughts, it might be because your paths are destined to cross again. The constant thought is like a mental rehearsal, a way for your spirit to stay familiar with theirs so that when the moment arrives, Your hearts will recognize each other instantly. There is also the power of the unfinished prayer. When you care for someone deeply, you often wish for their safety, their happiness, and their peace. These wishes do not just disappear into the air, they stay active. When you think of someone, it is often your heart's way of checking on the seeds of kindness you planted in their life. You are checking to see if they are blooming. This is why you might feel a sudden sense of calm after thinking of them. It is the feeling of your well-wishers reaching their destination. You are a silent benefactor, giving them strength through your thoughts without ever asking for credit. Story moment. An explorer once traveled to the most remote parts of the world. He often felt lonely, but every time he sat by a campfire, he felt a strange sense of being watched over. He would think of his sister back home, imagining her sitting in her garden. Thousands of miles away, his sister would look at the stars and send a silent thought of protection to her brother. She didn't know where he was, and he had no way to call her. But his thoughts of her garden gave him the courage to keep going, and her thoughts of his safety acted as a shield. They were connected by a mental bridge that no mountain or ocean could break. In the end, the people who live in your mind are there to remind you of your own depth. They are proof that you have a heart capable of holding on to the invisible. In a world that tells us to forget quickly and move on fast, your mind chooses to remember. This is a beautiful act of rebellion against a cold world. It shows that you value the connections that shaped you. So let the thoughts come and go like the tide. Trust that your soul is doing exactly what it needs to do. Whether they are a memory, a teacher, or a future friend, they are a part of the beautiful tapestry of your life. Finally, there is a reason that touches on the very nature of time itself. Sometimes, a person stays in your mind because your soul exists outside of the past and the future. In the physical world, we say that a relationship is over or that someone is gone. But in the world of the spirit, there is only the present moment. When you think of someone, you are stepping into a space where you are still connected. Your mind is not just remembering a past event, it is experiencing the reality that the love you shared still exists right now. This is why the feeling is so vivid and real. You are not visiting a ghost of the past. You are visiting a living connection that never truly ended. There is also the idea of the shared soul purpose. Occasionally, two people are brought together to achieve a specific goal or to change the world in a small but important way. Even if you are no longer working together or speaking, the energy of that shared goal keeps your minds linked. You might think of them because they are finally achieving what you both once dreamed of. Or perhaps they are thinking of you because you were the one who gave them the spark to start their journey. This mental link is a form of spiritual partnership that continues to support the mission you both started, even if you are now on separate paths. Story moment. There was a musician who wrote a beautiful melody but could never find the right words for it. He eventually moved on and became a teacher, leaving the song behind. Years later, he woke up with a specific person from his youth on his mind. He hadn't thought of her in decades. At that same time, that woman, who had become a writer in a different country, sat down and wrote a poem that fit his melody perfectly. They were thousands of miles apart and had no contact, but their souls were still finishing the song they had started years ago. The thought was the final note that brought their shared work to a close. This teaches us that our minds are part of a much larger creative force. We are all contributing to a giant story that is being written by the universe. When someone won't leave your thoughts, it is because they are still a character in your story, and you are still a character in theirs. You are influencing each other's lives through the power of intention and memory. So do not worry if your mind feels crowded with the faces of those you used to know. It just means you have lived a life full of meaning. It means you have built bridges that are strong enough to last a lifetime. Trust the process of your heart and know that every thought is leading you exactly where you need to be.